Hello everyone, Helen Yu here at TDX. I'm joined by Brendan Metcalf, who's the CEO of Asymbl. Brendan, so nice to see you here.
Thanks, Ellen. Thanks for having me.
I love to unpack how you scale with Agentforce today. But before we do so, tell us who you are and what Asymbl does.
Yeah, so my name is Brendan Metcalf. I'm the founder and CEO of Asymbl. We're a workforce orchestration company, which is kind of a new term, right?
I love the name.
So what we essentially do is we help companies assemble hybrid workforces. So getting their human workers to work with digital workers to drive productivity and value and ROI for the business.
Okay. And I came across your success story lately. It says you hired 160 people within 100 days.
The same when you were drinking?
For a clinical company. So tell us, what gave you the confidence to bet on Agentforce?
Yeah, that was at the end of 2024. We were gaining a lot of speed with our recruiting technology that we offer to our clients and with our consulting business. And we needed to hire at least 100 people in about 100 days. So we could either go out and hire a whole recruiting team to do that.
That's what we used to do. Yeah.
It would take 100 days to hire the recruiting team.
Yeah.
So that didn't work. So we decided to really lean into our own technology, our own processes, and the partnership that we have with Salesforce. So our recruiting technology, the Recruiter Suite, is built on Salesforce. I've been building on Salesforce since 2009 with various different companies. It's my fourth company. And we decided to really maximize the use of Agentforce with a recruiting agent that we had developed and we were using. And through that process and through using Slack, we created all these workflows and innovation. And if you watch the customer success keynote from last year's Dreamforce, we actually do a full-blown demo of what we did. But it was through the usage of the recruiting agent, the Recruiter Suite, Agentforce, Slack, that we actually created this huge, robust program where we had about 17,000 applications. I think we had something like 1,300 pre-screens and about 800 interviews to get to the 100. So it was a massive process. We initially started with one human recruiter. We added a second recruiter in the process. We originally thought we were going to hire 100 people. We hired 116 people. The biggest thing, though, we've had a tremendously low attrition rate. So it wasn't just this hiring for the sake of hiring. We find the right people for the right roles, and they stay.
Wow, that's amazing, right? And that must be a big relief, especially for a CEO and with the crazy growth you're going through. By the way, how is it going with Theodore? I love the agent name, right? It's SDR AI agent name. And what's your view of the collaboration between digital labor and human labor? How has that reshaped the culture?
You know, Theodore is actually a brilliant use case to answer both of those questions. So when the Salesforce Agentforce SDR agent rolled out, which is what Theodore was based on, right? We got them fresh out of the gate. So it was brand new technology. We were working with Salesforce product team to really get them set up and going. And we had tremendous success quickly with him. He was managing about 1,000 leads a day, over 500% productivity gains from him engaging with the leads and all of that. But he's also part of our sales team. So the name Theodore, and I always say this, we have Theodore Frank, he's our SDR agent. We call him Teddy when he's doing a good job, and we call him Theodore when he's being naughty. And I say that because I get that exact response from everyone that I say that to, including our internal team. So when we rolled out Teddy, we wanted to humanize this new form of labor. We wanted our team to connect and understand. So we wanted to bring some fun into it. We wanted to bring, a bit of humor and a bit of playfulness, mostly keeping it serious. So Teddy would show up on sales leader reports, and he would start to beat people in performance, and you would see the sales team get very riled up to say, no, we're going to do more. And it just energized the whole company, but it also created this sense of culture around, this is a teammate. This isn't just tech. Think of Teddy as a teammate. And that was foundational for us to scale to, we have over 200 digital workers today. We're adding more like crazy. We set out in 2024 that in 2025, 20% of productivity in the company would be done by digital workers, and 2026 would be 40%. We've blown that out of the water. 2025, we had a $5 million productivity impact from digital workers. 2026, we're forecasting 13 million. But now we're starting to change the dynamic. We're not talking so much about how many digital workers do we have versus human. We're about 40% human, about 60% digital. Now we're starting to talk about things like, well, what's the employee or what's the revenue by human employee? And how are digital workers helping us drive that metric? And I think that's going to become the metric in the SaaS world for sure.
That mindset shift is so critical. Right? That will elevate people's thinking and allow them to focus more on higher value add more effective work. So kudos to your leadership.
Thank you.
You know, all the CEOs or CIOs I work with, they have that aha moment. So what was your aha moment through this journey?
It's become the foundation of everything we do, and it's certainly the foundation of why we talk about digital workers the way we talk about digital workers. Like we talk about onboarding and coaching and managing and motivations for success. Those are not terms that you use for tech, right? You talk about deploying, implementing, what's the spec, what's the scope, all of those types of things. And it stems from a realization that I had in 2023, 2024, because not only were we, so as a partner with Salesforce, we got invited to participate in a variety of different beta programs, and we've always participated. And we were in a beta program for Einstein Copilot before it became Agentforce, which is where we developed the beginnings of the recruiter agent, right? So we had this lens of developing tech and developing product on Agentforce. But then on the side, I was using AI extensively in my personal role as a CEO and really trying to say, how do I get business ROI out of this? Yes, it can help me write emails, it can go research stuff, whatever. I have a team of humans that can do all of that too. How do I actually get real meaning and value from using this technology? And the more I used it, the more I was like, this is a different kind of employee for me. And when I put that together saying, this is an employee, it reminded me of my first company, Talent Rover. We were international. We had 9 offices in 8 countries. And every time I would open a new office in a new country, and back then you didn't have employer records or any of that stuff, so you literally had to incorporate and the whole thing. You had to also get used to the culture and the people and connect on a human level to these teams to figure out how to motivate, how to manage them. What's a good role for this group? What's not a good role for this group? So working through the AI, I started to unlock, like, this is no different than what I've done before of moving into a new part of the world. I'm trying to figure out how to get this employee to produce the best possible results for the company. Now, of course, there's a lot of differences between entering a labor market with humans and using digital workers, but the outputs and the ROI, if you treat it like labor, is remarkably similar. And that's really the foundation of what we've been able to do.
Yeah, you know, we can all relate to your story about managing different cultures, global scale. But was there a moment where you realized some of the Salesforce functionality you already have, but you're also investing in other technologies that duplicate?
Yeah, and you know, we're not exclusively built on or using Salesforce for everything. A lot of our digital workers are not built on Agentforce. We're very excited. We just expanded our relationship with the MuleSoft team and assigned Agent Fabric to help us manage this workforce. About 95% of everything we do ties back to something in Salesforce, though. It's largely Slack, right? Because Slack is our operating system. It's where all the work happens. Everything goes through it. But we also have to look at our business and say, what's the best use case? What's the best type of employee? What's the best platform for specific jobs to be done and the motivations for those jobs and all of those? So we have a variety of different things that we use, you know, but at the heart of it, we continue to expand the Salesforce relationship. We went from, you know, a small group of using Enterprise Edition Sales Cloud licenses to moving to Unlimited, to then we signed up for Agentforce 1 Edition because we wanted the full-blown power of the top-tier Slack, and we wanted all of the employee agents we could get. In February, we announced a deeper multi-year partnership with Salesforce for Agentforce 360 and Data 360. And now we're going to be announcing the partnership extension with MuleSoft. And the reason why is because the technology, the values, the innovation is there. I think a lot of what we saw at TDX this week takes it to the next level. Speed, the ability to surface anywhere. Agentforce, headless Agentforce 360 is epic for everything we do. And now with what we're doing with MuleSoft and Agent Fabric, we can really orchestrate and manage our digital workforce in a way that we couldn't do a couple of years ago at Salesforce. And this innovation that continues is going to continue to push us more to Salesforce because of the trust, the security, the reliability. So like, what keeps me up at night thinking about our digital workforce is the security, the reliability, the data, the trust. What I'm never concerned about is those questions in the Salesforce environment. So the more we can move back into Salesforce and Agentforce, the more confidence I have that we are protected as much as we can be.
You know, not everyone is as tech savvy as you, as a CEO. So for those who are not as tech savvy, they're trying to get on this journey. What tech investment advice do you give?
I mean, we have a whole practice that helps companies do this, right? So my big thing with clients, big or small, is I recommend, and this is how we talk about it, is validation of belief projects. Not proofs of concepts, this stuff works. But the belief that it works is the question. So we offer validations of belief, and what they mean is start with a small job to be done and figure that out. And it's not necessarily, and I hate these terms. I hate high value, low value. I think it's
Maybe mission, not so mission critical data.
I think it's think about the jobs to be done. Think about why the jobs exist. Think about what is a good use case that you can be successful with. And if it delivers that use case, it'll give you the belief that, yes, this could work. And we've done this with countless customers they'll come to us with these big, glamorous ideas of, I wanted to solve the most complicated project I've ever solved. I'm like, how are you going to get a human team to go solve that? Let's not start there. Let's think something more strategic. Like, what's an area that, if this wins in this, will it help you unlock how you think about where else this can be deployed? Every time we've done that, it's expanded, and they're creating many little armies of their own digital workers.
Framework. Speaking of the partnership ROI, right? I learned that you partner with Salesforce and unlock 3,789% ROI. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, I mean, those numbers are outdated now, right? We continue to blow it out of the water. So I've personally been a partner with Salesforce since 2009. So I've understood what it's like to build on platform, what the value is, what you gain from that. Asymbl is no different. Our recruiting technology is built completely on the platform. And the infrastructure, the security, the reliability, the innovation, all of that just accelerates. We don't have to build all that. We don't have to worry about all of that. We don't have to worry about, the trust layer, if you will, because we have to comply with Salesforce's processes and restrictions on what we can and can't do. But then we also have a deep relationship with Salesforce. Like, we co-sell on the recruiting side every single deal with Salesforce. So we're mutually interested in delivering the best outcome for our customers. And that partnership has really proven itself as we've grown, 56x over 3 years, and we're certainly not slowing down.
Congratulations, right? Kudos,
Thank
too.
you.
And then speaking of that, you've been operating like 10 times the size of where you are at today. So how does 10 times from here look like?
I mean, we keep doing what we're doing. We are so focused on internally validating the outcomes that we get, so that we can then take our outcomes and help our customers experience the same outcomes. So there's nothing that we do internally, or there's nothing we offer to our customer externally that we don't do in some shape or form internally. And that validation allows us to, one, give the customer confidence that this is real stuff. That's a big deal right now, right? With how much does this spend, and does it really work, and all of those other things. It works. We've built a really fast, profitable or cash flow positive company in a very difficult market because of this. So we're going to continue doubling down on expanding our digital workforce. Shiv, our Chief Digital Labor Officer, how many companies have a Chief Digital Labor Officer? Shiv is going to take our 200 digital workers and probably get closer to 1,000 over the next 2 years, which is why we're building the infrastructure that we're building. We're going to continue to invest in our human team members. We have a core value, potential of our people. The roles of our human teammates continue to change and evolve, and they become more managers. But we're going to always stay focused on being an outcome-driven company, both internally and externally for our customers, and I think that's how we'll win.
Love that. So since we're talking about scaling with Agentforce, my last question is, what some people do, CEO, new CEO, new to the journey, do money.
Get started. I have conversations. I'm always like, hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to have a conversation, get perspectives even outside of a sales arena. I love the stuff. I get very passionate about talking about this. You just got to get started. And you got to get started in a way that makes sense for you and your business, where you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Think about where is a really good project, place, job, whatever you want to call it, that if you could be successful there, would give you and the rest of your company confidence this could really help you. And if you can do that, then it'll roll out.
Thank you, Brendan. Congratulations on tremendous amount of growth. And your partnership with Salesforce is really worth the highlight. And I look forward to checking in maybe in a few months at Dreamforce to see what else
I
you're
love
coming
that.
up with.
I love that. Thanks, Alan.
Thanks.